Have you ever counted how many times you've moved in your life? I stopped counting after the 15th. Emily always jokes that our kids know U-Haul boxes better than they know toys, and sadly, it's not a joke. My name is Josh. I've been working in construction for 20 years. Emily works night shifts as a nursing assistant. We have 2 kids, Lily, 12, who draws houses in every notebook because she dreams of having one that's forever, and Max, 9, who asks every time we move if this time it's going to be different. Until not long ago, I believed that paying rent on time and not bothering anyone was enough to live in peace. I've learned the hard way that I was very wrong. Before we start, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, drop a comment below telling us which city and country you're watching from. We love hearing from you. March 2023. The apartment on Maple Street had 2 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, and a persistent lemon detergent smell that the property manager tried to mask with a vanilla air freshener. It didn't matter. After 6 months sharing a room with another family at Emily's sister's house, that space felt like a palace. Mr. Hendricks was the kind of landlord who wore a suit just to show an apartment. Gray hair slicked back, shoes always shining, and a slow, deliberate way of speaking, like every word carried weight. During the tour, he pointed out each flaw as if he were doing us a favor. This mark on the wall will be painted before you move in. The bathroom floor has a loose board. I've already called the repair guy. The kitchen faucet drips a bit, but if you tighten it properly, it's fine. Emily held my hand while I signed the 2-year lease. She knew I was doing the math in my head. With both of our paychecks, we could cover rent, utilities, and still have about $300 left for emergencies. It would be tight, but doable. Finally, a place of our own, I whispered in her ear while Hendricks went over the condo rules. I remember Lily running through the empty apartment, testing the echo of her own voice in every room. Max turned on every faucet just to see if everything worked. Emily laid out our 3 pots on the kitchen counter and sighed in relief. Now I can really cook again. We slept on an air mattress in the living room that first night, all together, listening to the sound of cars passing outside and the neighbor upstairs dragging furniture around. It was perfect in its imperfection. "Dad," Lily said in the dark, "can we paint my room purple here?" "Of course, sweetheart. We're going to make this place our home." If only I had known we had just 4 months of peace ahead of us. The first fee came 3 weeks later. A folded paper slipped under the door. "Dear tenant, due to elevator maintenance required by city ordinance, there will be a one-time fee of $45 per unit. Please remit payment in cash to management within 5 business days." Management. Emily frowned when I showed her the paper. "Josh, the building only has 2 floors. What elevator?" But $45 wouldn't break our budget. I paid it. It was easier than asking questions. 2 weeks later, fire extinguisher replacement fee, $32. Then, retroactive utility adjustment, $67. Then, heating system maintenance fee, $28. Emily started writing everything down in a little notebook. "This doesn't feel right, Josh. Susan from 6A told me she only pays her rent." "Maybe she's been living here longer," I reasoned. "Maybe she got some kind of discount." But deep down, a quiet voice was whispering that something was wrong. Mr. Hendricks had a peculiar way of greeting us. Whenever he passed me in the hallway, his good morning came with a look that lasted just half a second longer than it should have. Like he was sizing me up, waiting for something. Lily noticed first. "Dad, why doesn't the building owner like us?" "He doesn't dislike us, Lily. That's just how he is. But he smiles at the lady from 3B. With us, he barely nods. Children see what adults would rather ignore." One Thursday afternoon, coming home early from work, I found Hendricks talking to two men in suits in the parking lot. They were pointing toward our apartment, speaking in low voices, laughing. As soon as they saw me, the conversation stopped abruptly. "Afternoon, Josh," Hendricks said, forcing a smile. "How are you, Mr. Hendricks?" "Great, great. Just discussing some improvements for the building." The men were already walking away when I heard one of them mutter something that sounded like, "Has to be subtle, or they'll sue." That night, I couldn't sleep. It was Max's birthday. 9 years old. Emily had been saving for a month to throw a small party, burgers on a portable grill out on the balcony, soda, and a box cake decorated with blue frosting. We invited my brother Dave and his family, and Emily called a coworker from the hospital. In total, 12 people, including the kids. The loudest sound was music playing from a cell phone connected to a small Bluetooth speaker, kept low, because we already knew Hendricks was sensitive to noise. The party ended by 8 p.m. Max fell asleep hugging his new Spider-Man figure, exhausted and happy. Sunday morning, the yellow post-it stuck to our door felt like a punch to the stomach. Noise violation notice. Excessive noise reported on April 15th at approximate 6 to 9 p.m. Multiple neighbor complaints received. This constitutes violation of Lease Clause 12C, quiet enjoyment. Next violation will result in immediate lease termination. Management. My first reaction was anger. Then, confusion. We had been polite, respectful. But maybe. I spent all of Sunday knocking on neighbors' doors. Mrs. Peterson from 4A looked at me, surprised. "Complaint?" "Josh, I could barely hear you." My TV was louder than the party. "Mr. Martinez, from the apartment next door." "Party?" "I just saw a few kids playing on the balcony." Apartment by apartment, the same answer, no one had complained. Emily had always been the more cautious one between us. While I tended to give people the benefit of the doubt, she was the type to distrust first, investigate later. That night, after the kids had gone to bed, she sat with me at the kitchen table, notebook in hand. "Josh, look at this. Since we moved in, 7 extra fees, totaling $267. 3 noise warnings, when we didn't even make noise. And now this threat of eviction over a party that wasn't even loud." She ran her hand through her hair, a gesture she did when processing something serious. "You know what I think? He wants us to leave." "But why? We pay everything on time." "Exactly. Have you seen anyone looking for apartments lately? With this inflation, he could charge at least $400 more than what we're paying." Her theory made sense. We'd signed our lease when the market was low. Now, similar apartments were going for nearly twice the price. From that Sunday on, our home turned into a library. Lily and Max were told to always speak quietly after 6 in the evening. We couldn't have visitors anymore. Emily canceled her birthday party in May. We started documenting everything, photos of every fee charged, audio recordings of conversations with neighbors, screenshots of rental price searches in the area. I, who had always been the type to avoid conflict, started reading up on tenant rights. For 2 months, we walked a tightrope. Every noise of the kids playing made my heart race. Every loud step in the hallway put me on edge. Emily developed insomnia. She stayed awake, listening to the sounds in the building, trying to anticipate the next complaint. Lily stopped drawing houses in her notebooks. She started drawing suitcases instead. July 15th, Monday. I got home from work at 5:45, sweaty and tired, thinking about a shower and dinner. Emily was working, double shift at the hospital. The envelope was taped to the door. Official letterhead, full name on the recipient line. My hand shook as I tore open the side. Notice to vacate premises. 2. Joshua Martinez and Emily Martinez. You are hereby notified that your tenancy of the above described premises is hereby terminated. You are required to quit and surrender said premises to the undersigned on or before August 15, 2023. Reason for termination: multiple violations of lease terms regarding noise ordinances, damage to common areas, stains on hallway carpet, failure to comply with building regulations, disruption to other tenants' quiet enjoyment. If you fail to vacate, legal proceedings will be instituted against you to recover possession of said premises. I sat down on the hallway floor and read it 3 times. Lily came home from school and found me there. Dad? Why are you on the floor? I couldn't answer right away. How do you explain to a 12-year-old that we were going to lose our home over false accusations? When Emily arrived at midnight, she found everyone awake. Lily was on the couch, hugging a pillow, her eyes red. Max was compulsively building a Lego tower, knocking it down and rebuilding it. What's going on? She asked before even taking off her shoes. I showed her the letter. I saw the color drain from her face. Lily whispered, I knew this was going to happen again. It always does. That sentence broke my heart. A 12-year-old child shouldn't have that kind of awareness about life's instability. Max stopped playing and looked at us. Did we do something wrong? No, son, Emily replied, pulling him into her lap. We didn't do anything wrong. Tuesday morning, I called 3 lawyers. The cheapest one charged a $2,500 retainer just to evaluate the case. Money we didn't have. The city's legal aid office had a 3-month waiting list. I looked up the tenants' rights group online. Outdated website, phone number going straight to voicemail. Emily searched for available apartments during her work break. The ones we could afford were in dangerous neighborhoods or in worse condition than we ever imagined. Josh, she said that night, if we can't fight this, maybe it's better to accept it and move before he sues us. It was the first time I saw Emily give up on something. 2 weeks before the deadline, Hendrik showed up at our door with a typed list of damages found in the apartment. Carpet stain in living room, $150. Paint touch-up needed in children's bedroom, $200. Kitchen cabinet handle loose, $75. Bathroom grout discoloration, $125. General cleaning fee, $300. Total, $850 deducted from our $1,200 deposit. That leaves $350 to be returned, he said, handing me a check with the same expression someone gives when handing out charity. The stains on the carpet were from when Max spilled orange juice. We cleaned it right away, and there wasn't even a mark left. The paint in the kids' bedroom was exactly as it was when we moved in. The cabinet handle had already been loose on the first day. But we had no way to prove any of this. 3 days before moving day, while I was packing books in the living room, I heard a soft knock on the door. Mrs. Gardner lived on the first floor. A woman in her 70s, always polite, but we never talked beyond hallway greetings. Josh, can I come in? She sat on the sofa, the only piece of furniture not yet packed, and got straight to the point. Hendricks did the same thing to the Rodriguez family last year. And the Johnsons before them. You're the 4th this year. My stomach sank. What do you mean, ma'am? Son, this man has a scheme. He rents to working families like yours for a low price, waits a few months, then makes up excuses to evict them. Then he puts the apartment back on the market for $400 or $500 more. She pulled a crumpled piece of paper out of her pocket. Here's the number of some people who went through the same thing. You need to come together. The first contact was with Maria Rodriguez. Her English was limited, but her anger was universal. Same story, made-up fees, false accusations, eviction threats, and withholding of the deposit. James Johnson, a mechanic with 3 kids. He said we cost $600 in damage to the apartment. The place was better when we left than when we moved in. Sarah and Tom Wilson, young newlyweds. He claimed we had a dog when we never had any pets. Each story was a variation of our own. Mrs. Gardner took me to the public records office. In the records from the past 2 years, we found the pattern. Apartment 3C, Martinez family, us, $1,350 per month. New tenant, $1,750 per month. Apartment 2A, Rodriguez family, $1,200 per month. New tenant, $1,600 per month. Apartment 1B, Wilson couple, $1,100 per month. New tenant, $1,450 per month. Hendricks was making nearly $1,000 more per month with the same number of apartments. It's a profitable business, Mrs. Gardner commented dryly. He buys cheap properties, rents them out at low initial prices to attract good tenants, then makes up reasons to evict them and re-rent at market prices. That night, something changed inside me. The shame I felt about losing our home turned into anger. We weren't problem tenants, we were victims of a scheme. Emily noticed the change. You seem different. I am different. I'm not going to leave quietly. Lily, who was pretending to do homework but was obviously listening, looked up. Dad, are we going to fight the bad man? We are, princess. We are going to fight. We turned our dining table into a command center. Emily organized documents while I typed everything up on my brother Dave's borrowed laptop. We created a shared file with timeline of each evicted family, photos of the damaged apartments, records of the charged fees, audio recordings of conversations with neighbors, rental price research in the area. Mrs. Gardner brought a friend, a retired attorney named Donna Phillips. She reviewed our leases. These clauses are abusive, but technically legal. Hendricks knows every loophole in housing law. So we have no way to win? Maria Rodriguez asked. Individually, it's hard. But together, with a documented pattern of abuse, this could catch the interest of the press and the authorities. Dave knew someone who knew someone at Channel 7 News. Jessica Chen, investigative reporter, specialized in housing issues. Our first conversation was over the phone. Mr. Martinez, I get 10 calls a week about landlord problems. What makes your case different? We have documentation of a systematic pattern affecting multiple families, and we're willing to speak publicly. She was interested. Jessica came to our apartment on Thursday, 2 days before the move. Professional equipment, precise questions. How did you feel when you received the first extra fee? What was your children's reaction when they found out about the eviction? Are you afraid of retaliation for speaking publicly? Emily was nervous but answered honestly. We're already afraid. Afraid of not having a place to live, afraid we won't be able to pay another deposit, afraid our kids will grow up thinking this is normal. So the fear of speaking out isn't worse than the fear of staying silent. Landlord Abuse, The Hidden Cost of Housing in Middle America aired on a Tuesday at 6 p.m. 5 minutes and 40 seconds that changed everything. The report showed our faces, our documents, our story. Hendricks was contacted for comment but was unavailable. The phone started ringing before the segment even ended. Other tenants. Other cases. Lawyers offering pro bono help. Hendricks called on Wednesday morning. Josh, you've made a very serious mistake. Mr. Hendricks, everything I said is true, and it's documented. You'll regret this. I'm going to sue you for defamation. Go ahead. I have 10 witnesses and a lawyer now. He hung up. The news report sparked an unexpected wave of solidarity. The Facebook page we created gained 500 followers in just 2 days. Donations started coming in, $50 here, $20 there. One family even offered furniture. More importantly, other landlords began distancing themselves from Hendricks publicly. The building's superintendent started receiving pressure from the remaining tenants. With the help of legal aid, which suddenly had availability after the TV report, we filed a class action lawsuit against Hendricks for abusive rental practices, unlawful withholding of security deposits, harassment, violations of fair housing laws. Our lawyer, Michael Santos, was young but experienced in tenant law. Cases like this are becoming an epidemic. Landlords have figured out it's more profitable to push tenants out than to keep rents stable. The city's housing authority opened a formal investigation. They discovered Hendricks had 23 complaints filed against him in the past 3 years, a clear pattern of violations. Even worse, he had been operating some buildings without proper licenses. Under pressure from the tenants and the negative publicity, the building's superintendent called an emergency meeting. 15 of the 18 occupied units attended. Hendricks tried to defend himself. These families repeatedly violated their lease agreements. "I have the right to protect my property." Mrs. Peterson interrupted him. "Mr. Hendricks, I've lived here for 5 years. The Martinez family was the quietest in the building. What you did to them was wrong." Other tenants backed her up. The vote passed 14-1, with the one dissenting vote being his own, to terminate his management contract. The lawsuit lasted 4 months. In December, the judge ruled full return of withheld security deposits to all families. $5,000 in damages for each family. Hendricks banned from managing properties in the city for 2 years. $50,000 fine to be paid to the city's housing fund. With the settlement money and help from the community, we got the deposit for a better apartment. 3 bedrooms, a small yard, a quiet neighborhood. Lily got her purple room. Max has space for his Legos. Emily can cook while listening to music without fear. The first night, as I lay down to sleep, Lily appeared at our bedroom door. "Dad, is this for real this time?" "It is, princess. No one is going to force us out of here." She smiled and went back to her purple room. The evicted WhatsApp group became an official organization, Middle Valley Tenants Association. Today, we have 47 families. We offer guidance on tenant rights, referrals to pro bono lawyers, emotional support for families in similar situations, political advocacy for legislative change. Our story contributed to 3 important changes in the city. Fee law: landlords can only charge specific extra fees allowed by law, with detailed receipts. Database: a public registry of complaints against landlords, accessible online. Eviction process: evictions can only happen through a court process, no longer by simple notice. Lily, now 14, is part of the student council and has organized 2 awareness campaigns about tenant rights at her school. Max, 11, still builds with Legos, but now they're always houses with solid foundations. Emily is back to cooking while listening to loud music. And I've learned that our individual voice may seem weak, but when joined with other voices who have lived the same injustice, the result is a chorus no one can ignore. If you're reading this story and recognize your situation, you are not alone. Document everything. Every charge, every threat, every conversation. Seek help. Legal aid, tenants associations, local reporters. Speak out. Your story could be the key to bigger changes. Don't be ashamed. Being a victim of housing abuse is not a character flaw, it's the landlord's crime. The system was made to isolate us, shame us, make us accept injustices as normal. But when we stop accepting, when we unite, when we speak our truth without fear, that's when we discover we are much stronger than we thought. And that everyone deserves a real home. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Be sure to check out the next videos. Just click on the cards right here on the screen. See you there.